Good morning and welcome to GKBA Today, the Greater Kendall Business Association podcast. And as always, today we have another esteemed member, but today is extra special because today's member is Power Financial. They are actually gold trustees and we appreciate them so much. So today we have with us Javier Saborio.
Hello.
We have Melvys Dela Morena. And we have Clara Holguín. Blanca. I'm sorry, Blanca.
Yeah.
So I want to start with people do business with people they know, like, and trust.
Yes.
So we want to get to know you a little bit. So can you tell me a little bit about yourself, Javier?
Yes. So I started at Power Financial Credit Union in 2002.
You must have been like 10 years old.
I was old enough to work.
Okay.
So it almost 23 years.
Wow.
And time sure goes by quick. I came from banking, like most people that now work at credit unions.
Mm-hmm.
I worked at a national bank.
Okay.
At their contact center, providing support to their online products and helping people with loans and accounts similar to what you do at a traditional branch.
Right.
With Power Financial, I started as a MSR, which is a member service representative, and it's a universal role. So you do some tailoring, some account opening, some lending, and from there I grew into an assistant manager position, then a manager. I was given the opportunity to manage multiple branches. At different times, I moved around, and also to support other branches on the weekend. My branch didn't open on Saturdays.
Okay.
So I was given the opportunity to work at other branches on Saturday to
You
learn.
were the lucky one that got to work Saturdays.
Yes, to learn the different markets,
right,
and to experience, what it is to work at a different, sincerely different market type of branch, because every neighborhood, every town is a little different.
Okay.
And in 2015, I want to say like July, in the summer of 2015, I was given the opportunity to do the current role that I'm in, which is back then it was the retail VP of retail, and now it is a VP of retail banking, which is managing the branches and supporting their operations. Throughout my career at Power Financial, I was able to lead investment services and also the contact center at times. And that's been my experience at Power. My passion is helping people, seeing them grow financially, especially in the South Florida market that we have. We have a lot of newcomers to this country,
Mm-hmm.
and they're not familiar with the banking system. And I take a lot of joy in guiding them and seeing them succeed and thrive financially.
Okay, excellent. And it sounds like you have, not only did you start from the ground up, but you have a very well-rounded experience.
Yes, absolutely. And then also my degree is in marketing, which I think helps me go out in the community and network, such as the Greater Kendall Business Association.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Melvys, how about you?
Good. My name is Melvys Dela Morena. I'm the branch manager at the Palm Santana Country Mall. I've been with the credit union for about 5 years, but overall banking about 30-something years.
Wow.
Yeah, I have a lot of experience in banking. I've done mainly branches. That's what I work the most. And my passion is helping people succeed in the financial industry.
Excellent. And you, Blanca?
Hi, I'm Blanca Holguín. I've worked for Power Financial since 2013. I joined right after the Marine Corps, so I was still active duty when I was hired.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you. And I've been doing it for, since 2013. And I'm an assistant branch manager, so I take care of all the branch, all members, interactions, savings, everything.
So, Blanca, I did a little research and I know something about you. You may be one of the few people that don't worry about the price of eggs.
Oh, yeah.
Can you tell me about that?
That's a fun experience. Yeah, I have a part-time in the weekends. I have a farm at home. I have goats. I have chickens. So I get the eggs, and I also get scratched by the roosters. But it's farming, so it's I have a lot of members that are also farmers that bring honey to us. So it's a little like a really nice community at the Kendall branch.
That's interesting.
So I love it.
So something that you said triggered a question in my mind. People that are foreigners and come here and they're not used to the banking systems, is it they're unbanked in their countries, or what have you noted that their perception is, or their fears, etc.?
So both. Some of them are used to banking and they just need now a new relationship.
Okay.
And then some have not had the experience of having a bank account or taking out loans or how credit works. And with a credit union, part of our mission, or a huge portion of our mission and our core value, is people helping people. So our job is to educate, and and we have the time also in the credit union world to sit down and explain and guide and counsel and be trusted advisors.
It's interesting that my perception anyway is that a lot of people don't know the difference between a traditional bank and a credit union. What are some of the highlights of where it's different?
No, absolutely. Even probably the three of us coming from banking, we were like, oh, it's a credit union. We know it's a little different. So credit unions are not-for-profit financial institutions.
All of them?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And traditional banks are for profit and are accountable to shareholders. Credit unions give their profits back to their membership in the form of higher rates on deposits, lower rates on loans, and no fees or very low fees. An example of how Power Financial gives its profits back to its membership is our 6% cashback checking account. We pay 6% annual percentage yield on a checking account, which
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's market leading, and it's something very special in the South Florida market. Yeah.
Why it's interesting that you said I think Melvys were talking about and you don't call them customers, your members.
Members.
Why is it members and not customers?
Because once you become a part of the credit union, you become a member. We don't have shareholders. Everybody owns part of the credit union, so the dividends are divided among members.
And in the form of what Javi said, and higher rates and lower rates on loans.
Right.
Yeah. And have a voice
and what else?
They have a voice and a vote.
Yeah.
They have a voice and a vote. How does that work?
On everything that we decide, from either charging a fee, members can go say, nope, we don't want to see it, eliminate it in the next month or so. They really they listen to the members' opinions and value it very well.
Yeah, most of our big initiatives or changes come from member suggestions.
Yeah.
We truly listen, and if it makes sense, we make a change. So being small and nimble allows us to make those changes quickly.
It seems to me that, and I don't know if this is all credit unions, but a lot of them got started with a large institution, be it private or public, and then kind of offered to other members. Is that how they all get started?
Yes. So that's a very good question. So our Power Financial Credit Union was started by the employees of FPL, now Next Era.
Frank Gallagher. You know Frank Gallagher?
And who?
Frank Gallagher and 12 of his employees.
Yes, absolutely. It was 13 employees of FPL that started the credit union.
Yeah.
And then we grew throughout the years. We merged with Pan Am Horizons Credit Union, with Ryder Logistics, and our credit union. And then we purchased excuse me, a commercial bank in 2019, which was TransCapital Bank, and that was also rolled into Power Financial Credit Union. And our latest group that we have is Sanitas Medical Center. So we, besides how we service all those employee groups, because that's a big role of credit unions, to be involved with what we call the select employee group. We really truly get involved with them and provide a financial benefit that is mostly absent from a lot of employers. So meaning you have your medical, your vision, your dental, and you also have a financial service in the form of a credit union. So a big myth about credit unions is that you have to belong to a group to join. In the case of Power Financial Credit Union, if you live, work, worship, or go to school and in our area of in our field of membership, we call it, you can join the credit union. So anyone here in Kendall can come in and join our credit union. The reason why some employers become a select employee group is because the perfect example is Ryder, Next Era, and Sanitas are national companies.
Right.
So they're going to have employees all over the country, even in the case of Ryder, Puerto Rico, and Mexico. So they are able to offer the benefits of a credit union to those employees that are not local.
For
Yeah.
these companies, and any of you can
Mhm.
answer, do you go beyond traditional financial services? Do you go to them sometimes and maybe provide seminars, education, things like that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we offer throughout the year. We offer seminars on first-time home buying programs, investments, retirements, and that's only examples of the ones that we do.
The youth accounts.
Yeah, youth
Mhm.
accounts. Yes.
Okay.
Financial planning, everything.
Yeah, we're as involved as the employer likes us to be. If they want us to, we have offices inside of FPL. We have offices
Interesting.
inside of Turkey Point nuclear plant and Port St. Lucie nuclear, because we have a huge commitment to them, and we wanna service the employees where they work, because that way we save the employer time in the sense that their employees do not have to go out to the bank, and they don't have to worry about finances because they have a resource at work.
Okay. What if I am a potential customer and my worry is, you know what, I bank at a huge bank and they have ATMs everywhere. I mean, anywhere I go, there's a bank branch here, a bank branch there. How do you compete against something like that?
We have amazing products. Our cashback checkings gives up to $20 back in ATM fees, and we also partnership in share branching. So basically, any credit union that's part of the share branching, you could go to their ATM and withdraw for free.
Okay.
And it's all over the United States. It's amazing.
Okay, so I don't have to worry about that
No,
anymore.
at all.
No,
Not at
no,
all.
no. With the share services, we have as many branches as any big bank
Any bit back.
and
Interesting.
ATMs.
All right. Tell me about some of the programs that you run that are, I mean, you started to touch upon some of them. And what are some unique programs to you guys? What is it that you offer the community that maybe either another credit union doesn't offer or a bank doesn't offer? Any of you can tell me about those. Melvys, you want to start? Or
Well, we have the first-time home buyer program, which
what is
is
that?
we don't have PMI. They don't have to have PMI. We don't charge PMI and no down payment. The only thing they need to have is 1% closing costs, because they can have a 2% lending contribution or family assistance. So that's a great program for first-time home buyers.
Yeah,
That's
we do.
incredible. So
That's
it's
incredible.
100% financing,
It's
Yeah,
100%
yeah.
and no PMI.
and no
No
PMI.
PMI.
Yeah, it truly eliminates the biggest barrier to home ownership with the price of homes right now. Folks are able to make their monthly rent payment, but not save for a down payment.
Right.
So with this new product, they're able to achieve really the dream of home ownership and
That is-
start building equity.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
fantastic. I've never heard of a program like that.
Yeah, no, it is unique in our market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We also going to come up with a student credit card, which they don't have to have credit, and we're going to give them a credit card to start building credit.
And a first-time auto buyer. Most people, when they do not have credit or they start out or fresh out of college, and they go to buy a vehicle, they usually pay in double digits percentage because it's
Right.
considered a first-time buyer. With us, it's not that case. We have a program to help them, and it is at the regular rates that we provide to
All our
more experienced borrowers.
So let's say somebody young for some reason has bad credit. Does that still apply, or how do you handle a situation like that? I know the bulk of them are not going to have any credit
Yes, that's a majority.
Okay.
Yeah, no credit or very little.
or very little credit.
If you do have a blemish, that does not completely stop you
Okay.
from acquiring financing. In general, not just young people. At Power Financial Credit Union, we do not have like an automatic underwriting. When you apply for a loan, we are able, as the front line at the branches and your first point of contact, our mission is to learn about you so we can learn your story. When people have a blemish in their credit, they usually have a life event that went along with it.
Okay.
It could be a divorce, it could be
A new
death in
baby.
the family, it could be a bankruptcy due to some hardship. So our job is to interpret and tell that story to our underwriters so they can understand that it is a life event. It's not something that that happens all the time. And that way we can tell your story, and most of the time we can overcome blemishes on a credit report.
That's interesting because I always thought that in this world of underwriting that I or anybody else is just a number. I thought the underwriters just ran their numbers and either you're this rate or that rate based on whatever. And what you're telling me, to me anyway, is very differentiating that you can actually get in the middle of this and maybe help somebody out.
Absolutely. It actually takes us longer to underwrite the loans. However, we can help more people, which is our core value. Yeah.
Something because you said something, you said we have time to do certain things.
Yeah.
How is it different for you that have worked, and I'm talking about Melvys too, that have worked in a traditional bank versus working now at a credit union? How is that different from an employee perspective?
Sure.
No, I mean, credit unions are different because they're very family oriented. We can speak to the underwriters to help a member. Everything is like, it's for the member. What we try to do is benefit the member, and anything the member needs is like we're there to help them. We tell a story, like Javi said.
What are some unique situations maybe that you've encountered at the bank or at the credit union, I should say, that a bank may not be able to help? I mean, you already mentioned some products like for youth and get them a credit card even if they don't have credit or very little credit. Anything else? Any stories that you have of somebody, maybe it was a hardship, maybe it was something that you were able to go beyond and really help this person out? And any of you can talk to that.
Yeah. Blanca, you always have stories.
Well, I really don't have much of like stories about leaving banks and credit unions, but I do have a lot of members that do appreciate just coming in and talking. And I do help them, not just with my Power Financial application. Sometimes they don't know how to set up something on their other institution app, so I help them with that. So I'm able to, since I guess I'm younger in the generation, I'm able to open an application and figure it out and be like, okay, so this is how you work this application. And they tell me that to speak to someone like that in a bank, it's impossible, and they're always happy to come in. There's never really like a line, and every member that we have has a personal favorite banker, so they'll know, they'll sit and wait for that personal banker because it's a personal, like a personal experience every single time. And we catch up with all their stories and all their life events. And it's nice. It's a really nice family, and the people that work there are not just a bank associate. They actually work for the credit union. They love the credit union. They bank with the credit union, so they believe everything they say about it. And I think that's amazing about it.
And also, we have the underwriters in house.
Oh, you
That's
do?
that's a huge
No
difference.
wonder you can talk with us.
Yes.
That's a huge difference because
It is.
you can tell the story, and telling the story is so important because you cannot do that in big banks. I have employees from other banks that refer me clients, and sometimes they can do anything for them. And when they come to me, I could do so much by telling the story and speaking to the underwriter about this person and what we can do for them.
Our employees live locally, so we live in the community. So
That's a requirement?
well,
For
no,
employment?
no,
No.
it just happens
It
because
just happens.
our home office is in Pembroke Pines,
Right.
and our branches are here. So I would say most of our most of our employees, because now there's some remote workers,
Right.
but the majority lives and works in the community. So we really truly understand, what's going on. A core memory for me coming from banks to a credit union was when I was in training and I had, my training buddy that would help me out because I was new. A member walked into our home office, which back then was in Hialeah, and he came in and said, "Hey, someone's making me an offer to sell my home, and I do want to sell it. It's a good offer, but I have a mortgage with you." So, as bankers and worry about your well-being, the first thing is like we look out for fraud. But once it was established that it was not, a scam or anything like that, now we move to help you. How can we resolve your issue, right? We have a small mortgage in your books, and now you need to satisfy that to be able to sell your home. Coming from a traditional bank, that would have meant that I would have opened a service event in a computer. That would have gone to some servicing department, probably loan operations, maybe in Atlanta, San Francisco, New York. And then I would have heard back in a few days, and then we would have made the payment, wait for the funds to clear. And it would have taken maybe, I don't know, a month, 45 days is what I was used to. My buddy at the time who was helping me said, well, let's ask, mortgage is here. Let's call real estate. We called them up and they said, well, his money's here, so we can transfer it, pay off the mortgage, and we can draw the paperwork if he's willing to go downtown and get a release. So that's what we did. He was satisfied, and we were able to help him in a day.
In a day?
Yeah, absolutely. We gave him the papers. He went downtown the next day. And
See, that was a good story.
That is, it's, to me, coming from banking,
Mhm.
it was a game changer.
Yeah.
At that moment, I learned to say maybe, not no. Absolutely.
Magic words in marketing.
Yes.
Maybe, or I'll find out.
I'll find out. Yeah, exactly. Let me ask.
What are some other programs that you have? We've gone over the youth credit card, the checking account that you pay 6% on. What else do you have going on right now?
I would say right now, with the summer and our kids being out of school, we are big on financial literacy, and we do youth accounts, and we do Rocky Raccoon accounts, which are the babies. So when I started with Power Financial, my daughter was a toddler, and she has had the same account from that time to now that she is, a professional working, receiving her direct deposit. That's been the same account
Wow.
number for life. And that is a big bulk of our membership because we are a generational institution, meaning you bank here, your kids bank here, you bring your people here. And a lot of banks will shy from youth accounts, but it's a big initiative for us. We even offer the Greenlight app for free.
What is that?
It is an application that helps parents teach their children to manage their finances. You can set, tasks, and they
Right.
complete them, and you give them money. And generally, there's a fee for it, but as long as you're funding the app from a Power Financial Credit Union account, it is free. It is free. And a lot of banks will shy from products like home equities, like used cars, auto lending, unsecured loans, and we do them all.
You do them all.
Yeah. Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about the Kendall branch. What do you represent to the community in Kendall? How do you get involved with Kendall? Is there anything special in Kendall for people in Kendall?
Well, we're very known in the community. What we do is we've financial advisors for the community, for the neighborhood. Our team works in the neighborhood, so we know the area. We do a lot of seminars, like I said. We do a lot of seminars in first-time home buying programs, on mortgages, on investments, retirements, and we're all bilingual, so that helps. I remember.
Yep. Anything to add, Blanca?
Everybody in the shopping center works there, lives there, goes to the gym there, so they why not bank there as well. It's pretty cool because I go to Publix almost every day, and most of the ladies at the Publix know us by name, and they come over, they visit us, they wait to visit them. We go donate blood at next door to the one blood, and we see the dogs during lunchtime. So we're always walking around and getting to meet everybody at the shopping center, and it's just a bigger community in the shopping center that anybody else knows.
So this whole conversation points to, you mentioned it at the very beginning, family, and you guys
Yes.
don't just say it, you guys live it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, absolutely. And it goes in all the decisions that we make and how we treat our members. We want to be treated and treat like family. Like if someone has an issue, makes a mistake, we help them. We do our best. Like what would family do, right? For example, Power Financial has eliminated non-sufficient funds fees. We
What?
do not charge non-sufficient funds fee.
I've never heard that before.
Right, absolutely. A lot of institutions live off non-sufficient
Right.
funds fee. But we believe that if you make a mistake or you're going through a hardship, we can penalize you. You need help. You need counseling.
Yeah.
Not a fee. Usually, every year we refund or we don't charge about $1 million in non-sufficient funds fees, which that comes from
That's a big
from
number.
profits. So that's another way that we give back to our members.
Yeah, and also with those, it gives us opportunities to volunteer or tell the senior VPs which company we want to donate to. Like any foundation nearby, the Kendall will bring it up and they'll take in consideration and then do a vote of who would deserve the donation from the Power Financial Credit Union.
And that comes from our employees. We
The
have
employees.
we call them power builders, and it is an initiative within Power Financial. Every employee who would like to donate money into a fund, and then just like Blanca said, every employee has an opportunity to nominate a charity that they would like to do. We have done in past years the Jason Taylor Foundation,
The Everglades.
and the Everglades,
Ronald McDonald House.
Ronald
Yeah,
McDonald's
that
for
one.
the
Just did
Greater
that.
Yeah.
Kendall Business Association. So it's a wonderful initiative that allows every employee to have a voice and to feel like we make a difference.
Yeah, and you do make a difference, obviously.
Thank you.
You mentioned financial literacy, which I feel is so important. I think a lot of people just aren't in the know. Are there any common themes that you see people just are lost about? Any of you? Is there something in particular, or is it just basically everything? I mean, do they know how to balance a checkbook? Do they, do they know how to? And this brings me to another question. Do you offer loans or services for businesses as well as?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's like a
Double
three-part
questions.
question.
Yeah.
So
Let's talk about businesses first. Because
okay,
because we talked
absolutely.
about personal,
Yes,
so let's talk about
absolutely.
business.
So yes, we do. We have business accounts, and we do also business lending and real estate secure. So commercial property
Okay.
for commercial property. So we do have a portfolio of business loans, and we help our community also through business lending.
Business lines of credit, you do it, or just loans?
We're still
Loans.
growing.
Yeah, we are actually growing our business division right
Mhm.
now, and we're looking forward probably within the next 6 months or so to have a new suite of products
Okay.
that we will be able to help our business community.
We'll bring you back then.
Yes, absolutely. That would be great.
We'll talk
Thank
about
you.
that.
Yeah.
All right, now to financial literacy.
The biggest challenge I think is credit. Credit is very complicated. Credit score is very complicated. There's a lot of apps now that give you a credit score, but it's not
Yeah.
a FICO, which is the gold standard
Right.
in credit, in which it is what banks and credit unions and all financial institutions use. So we have a whole seminar on credit because it's so deep, and it's, and most people, they know that if they pay on time, they have a good credit score. But there's a lot of factors in credit, such as capacity, how much you're using depending on your balances of credit cards,
Right.
your history, your inquiries. How many times are you applying?
Right.
And it's just so broad that
And you explain all that during the
yes,
seminar.
we do, absolutely. It's actually we go through all the factors and how to improve your credit and keep your credit,
Okay. So
maintain.
two last things, because we're almost out of time, believe it or not. Each one of you, I want you to say, if you have something to say, any last words about Power Financial.
Come visit us. We're in the Kendall branch. You won't be disappointed.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Experience a credit union.
Mhm.
Come to see us. Experience a credit union difference, which is personalized financial services. And right now, we have a promotion with our Kendall branch that if you open an account, we will give you as a welcome gift $199 as a welcome gift after 90 days of opening your account
Wow.
with direct deposit.
And does that come out of Melvys's pocket?
Absolutely.
Her budget. Her budget.
No.
Melvys, anything you want to say? How do they get in touch with you, Melvys?
Well, they can come to the Kendall branch. We're Talent Country, the Palms and
Which is
Talent
the Palms,
Country.
right?
Yes, next to the one block. It's just like I said, we're a team. We're welcome. We're waiting. We welcome anyone that comes to the branch, and we're ready to help anyone that comes to the branch.
Great.
Absolutely.
We're offering a killer CD right now.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wait.
yeah.
You got to tell me
Yeah.
about the killer CD.
That one's all Javi. He loves that one.
It's 4.99 annual percentage yield for 14 months, which is a leading market rate. If you look at CD rates right now, most of the good rates are for just a few months, maybe 7, at most, because everybody thinks rates may go down at some point. So
Right.
they don't want to, banks don't want to commit to a long term and have to pay you a high rate for a very long time. However, Power Financial does have a 14-month CD for new money at 4.99%, which you can lock in that excellent rate for a very long time.
That's impressive.
Yeah, and make your dividends.
Great.
Earn your money.
Javi, Melvys, Blanca, thanks for being here. I really appreciate it. A lot of great information. You definitely informed me, so I know you informed a lot of people.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us here, and also a part of the Greater Kendall Business Association, which is really has done a great job for us as far as exposure, our marketing, training, education for employees. We're committed as a Gold Trustee. And so thank you so much.
No, thank you.
Okay.
And thank you for joining us. We will be back very soon with another edition of GKBA Today.